Right, okay, so I've got a little half an hour session today, so I'm going to try and get 3, I might even try and get 5 different tricks in today. So the first one I'm going to look at is a thing called tagging. So when I'm going through my tracks on my USB stick that I can just jump to at any time, and so I've got 2 CDJs here, so I can be playing 2 tracks at once. So I might have one track loaded up here, and then I'll have another one going on this side as well. Now this is where the tagging thing comes in handy. It's almost like just being able to put it like on the back burner. So what I can do is I can go down this list and say, right, okay, so I want to play that track in maybe in a few songs time. So I'm going to click the tag button here. It puts a little, I don't know if you can see on that screen, but it puts a little tick next to it. And press this tag list button, which allows me to then see those 2 that I've got tagged. So let's browse through here. One of these things I like to do is say, let's play this track. Actually, let's play this one. I'll get it to the very end and I'll show you how I then mix into the next track. So I've got a track playing there, and I know next I want to play Dennis Ferreira, Hey Hey. Now what I could do is I could then queue up the next track and just play that. But one of the things I like to do is I kind of use acapellas quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go from this track into an acapella and then into the full track. Now that becomes really tricky because you don't want to be leaving the crowd without any beat to kind of jump along to. Next thing I want to talk about is looping. So looping can help you in probably about 2 or 3 different circumstances. Either getting a track in, getting a track out, or maybe just putting another layer into the track. So we're getting to the end of this track. So I've got to the end of this track and it's already running out and I need to mix the next track in. So I've only got a minute left of that, and this track is probably not going to kick in until a minute and a half or something like that. So that's when I can start using the looping to like make this track last forever until that one kind of kicks off. So that gives me an infinite loop that will just keep going now, and then I don't have to worry about that. I can just mix the next track in. Another way I like to do it is using some of the tracks start really weirdly, like this one for example. So it doesn't actually start with any kind of beats. And if you're just coming into DJing, you won't kind of really notice this if you've not been listening to DJ edits. Generally, DJ edits have about a minute's worth of beats at the start so you can kind of mix into them. That's a really awkward track because that's got nothing to mix in with. So what I've done is I've previously set up a loop on that vocal so I can then use that vocal over the top of another track. So if I've got another track in here, this one. So this one's coming to the end of it, and I'm going to wait until the vocal kicks out of that and then trigger the loop in this, and I can start playing the track just with the acapella at the start. So I'm just making that vocal last forever, and then whenever I'm ready, I can then just cut the loop, and then just get the main piano coming in. So again, that's all about prep beforehand. So I know that at the start of that track, I can loop up the vocal and I can use that as the intro. And then whenever I want to, I just X out of the loop and then that carries the track on. It's a bit more kind of cut and paste kind of mixing. So you're kind of picking the best parts of the tune and starting from that rather than just listening to beats. Another thing with looping is a really dramatic effect, which is kind of a lot of DJs use, and this works really well with the crowd as well. Pull your hand in the air. Can you feel it? Like I feel it? Is there something feeling good in your soul? just kind of work the crowd with it. So yeah, adjusting the in and out point, you can do some really interesting stuff. Works really well with vocals most of the time. As you kind of saw with the hey hey, I did it with that. This one maybe. So you can kind of do some really kind of cool stuff if you're laying over the top with that, adjusting the kind of out points. And as I say, it's all about that build-up. With most tracks in clubs and stuff, you have the snare build-up, or you have a riser or something like that. And the kind of final trick is a thing called slip mode. It's this little button, a little light here, and it's magic, basically. When you're doing tricks within a set, say you're doing looping and stuff like that. So I'm going to load a track up here. What it does, as soon as you activate slip mode, if you do a loop or any kind of tricks, the track is going in the background. So it's continuing on in the background, and whenever you finish your tricks, it will pick up wherever it was supposed to be. You have these loop buttons that appear at the top. Now this, as I say, you can use the manual looping still, but these loop buttons work really well when you're in slip mode. So I hope you can kind of grasp that concept of it still playing in the background. So it's still keeping time with the actual track. So yeah, I think that's about me done for this little half an hour session.